Ticket to the SpongeBob movie! Oh, wait. It's on Netflix. Hey guys, this is Frozen Wish Stews here, and welcome back to another movie review. With the release of the Plankton movie on Netflix, I've decided that I am going to be doing a review on the SpongeBob movie trilogy. Even if it's after the Plankton movie, I still have not reviewed the Plankton movie yet, so I'll still review the three SpongeBob movies in preparation for my review of the Plankton movie. So let's get this going. So I'm here right now to review the first film, the SpongeBob Squarepants movie. So the SpongeBob SquarePants movie is the first installment in the SpongeBob movie franchise, and was supposed to be the film to end SpongeBob, end the golden era of SpongeBob, before before the show decided to continue without Stephen Hillenburg, I mean. And it came out in the year 2004, aka the year I was born, and the best year of the 2000s decade. And it stars Tom Kenny, Clancy Brown, Roger Bompas, Bill Fager Buckle, Mr. Lawrence, Jill Talley, Carolyn Lawrence, Mary Jo Catlett, Jeffrey Tambor, Scarlett Johansson, Alec Baldwin, David Hasselhoff, etc. And so the film tells a story of the Krusty Krab 2 opening. Krusty Krab 2 is basically an expansion of the Krusty Krab franchise because of how successful the original Krusty Krab has been. And SpongeBob dreams of becoming the manager. He thinks that he's going to be the new manager of the Krusty Krab 2, but then Mr. Krabs gives the Squidward, and then makes SpongeBob very upset. And the reason why Krabs does not believe in SpongeBob being manager is because he is, well, just a kid. Yeah, I mean, he is kind of a grown man, but he's like a kid at heart. One day, Plankton, out of jealousy for the Krusty Krab 2, decides to push through with his most evil plan yet, which he calls Plan Z. The Plan Z is basically where he steals the crown of King Neptune, in so that to like steal the crown of King Neptune, give it away to Shell City, and then frame Krabs for it. And so Mr. Krabs is set to get executed by King Neptune, and so as SpongeBob tries to stand up to Mr. Krabs, he volunteers to to go to Shell City, go on a journey to Shell City to get the crown back. And so SpongeBob, accompanied by Patrick, is given 6 days to get the crown back, and if he doesn't, then Mr. Krabs will get fried. So yeah, now I'm sure I know I don't talk about SpongeBob a lot on my channel, but I am personally a SpongeBob fan. SpongeBob is my personal favorite animated show of all time. Sure, yes, I do talk about other animated films on this channel, like X-Men 97, Arcane, and Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, and recently Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I've always loved those kinds of animated shows that are more geared for adults. But SpongeBob has always been there for me. Like SpongeBob has always been like that show that SpongeBob has always been my favorite. Even if I will admit that I personally did not grow up with SpongeBob, I did really watch a lot of SpongeBob as a kid, and I thought that there were better shows. I think SpongeBob is what makes SpongeBob my favorite animated show of all time. It's just because of how it's simply my go-to show. Yeah, SpongeBob is the show, the animated show that I watch all the time. I actually don't watch the show itself, but rather I watch the show with the commentaries, with commentaries from other YouTube channels, reactions, I should say. That's actually how I went back to obsessing about SpongeBob, which happened 2 years ago in 2023, where I watched this YouTube channel of them like watching SpongeBob for the very first time and doing reactions to the episodes, and yeah, it's just so much fun to watch these. If you're wondering what channel that is, it's Timothy Reacts. So yeah, and yeah, 2025 is a heavy year for SpongeBob. Oh, by the way, happy 25th anniversary to SpongeBob. Now, I do apologize that I failed to make SpongeBob content on my channel, as I was actually going to review the SpongeBob movies for SpongeBob's 25th anniversary, as well as the 20th anniversary of this film. This film back in November, I was supposed to review them as well as do other SpongeBob contents, but then I was like, I didn't have time for it, and I prefer to do other content. So, but at least now I'm making up for it, which is why I chose to do it now. Anyways, yeah, back to what I was saying. Yeah, 2025 is a big year for SpongeBob, because we're getting two SpongeBob movies. With you know, Plankton the movie, which I have seen, and I will give my thoughts on it, and the upcoming Search for Squarepants coming this December, which yeah, I am not looking for it. I will say that I'll give a hint on what I thought about the Plankton movie. I will say it'll probably be the quote unquote better SpongeBob movie this year than Search for Squarepants. I predict that. But yeah, and even if I love SpongeBob, I will say that sadly SpongeBob has been going downhill nowadays. I will talk about how the show has been going downhill in my Sponge on the Run review. Yeah, in my Sponge on the Run review, because that's pretty much that movie is pretty much the embodiment of the current state of SpongeBob. But at least since I am talking about a SpongeBob film that I love, yeah, already a spoiler for my thoughts in it. Yeah, I'm just gonna talk about the good SpongeBob, seasons 1 to 3 as well as seasons 9B to 11. Yeah, those are the good SpongeBob, and SpongeBob season 11 was the last good SpongeBob episode season. I mean, so the reason why I am reviewing the SpongeBob movies with the Plankton movie instead of Search for Squarepants is because Search for Squarepants is on December, and I don't want to bombard myself with franchise content on December. I have been constantly reviewing franchise movies on my channel in preparation for a new big blockbuster to come out in December. That so much so that it I haven't been giving Christmas movies recognition lately. Heck, I only rewatched a very few Christmas movies last December. So if you guys remember my promise to you last December 2024, December 2025 will be dedicated to Christmas movies on my channel. So I'm going to be reserving December for Christmas movie reviews, as well as reviews of new movies to come out in December, like Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I'm actually planning to re-review the first film in preparation for Five Nights at Freddy's 2. At least it's one film, so that's an exception, and especially Avatar: The Way of Water. Thankfully, I've already reviewed every movie that I needed to review in preparation for Avatar: The Way of Water. So I don't need to do any reviews in preparation for Avatar: The Way of Fire and Ash. Even if I will most certainly rewatch the first two Avatar films in preparation for Fire and Ash. But when it comes to SpongeBob, yeah, I think I'm better off not doing any SpongeBob content in December besides my review or most likely rant on Search for Squarepants in December. So, anyways, yeah. Now, where was I? Oh yes, now on to the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. I will admit that I actually did not see this movie until the Sponge Out of Water came out in 2015. That's where I started watching it, and in fact, I actually watched the Sponge Out of Water first before the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. And then but when I saw this movie for the first time, I knew that this was the superior SpongeBob movie, and I became so obsessed with it that I kept on rewatching and rewatching it and rewatching it. In fact, fun fact, guys, this movie is actually what made me a SpongeBob fan. Yeah, and it's coming from someone who did not grow up with SpongeBob. So yeah, now yeah, and this movie is universally loved and is considered a classic by many, and I can totally see why. I can totally see why, and yeah, now. Yes, I actually have talked about this movie on my channel, specifically in my top 10 favorite movies of 2004 list. So yeah, now the question remains: does the SpongeBob SquarePants movie hold up on rewatch? All I gotta say is, abso-freaking-lutely, it does. It still holds up to this day. The SpongeBob SquarePants movie is a perfect way to end the classic era of SpongeBob before Hillenburg moved on from the show and the show went downhill from there. Fun fact, guys, this was originally supposed to be the conclusion of SpongeBob, but then Nickelodeon decided to continue it even without Hillenburg, and look how that turned out. Now, let's compare this to the show for a bit. Is this better than the first three seasons of the show? Well, I will say that I personally think that the first two seasons of SpongeBob are slightly better than this one, but I slightly prefer this movie over season 3 of the show. So yeah, there's that. Obviously, it's better than seasons 4 and the rest of the seasons, obviously. Now, yeah, I've seen this movie countless of times. Um, Countless of times a couple of years ago, though I haven't revisited it for years until now. But one thing I never realized that actually made this movie so special is how deep the themes and messages are. The message of accepting kids for who they are and not to underestimate them is surprisingly aimed for adults. Yeah, as it's basically telling adults, hey, don't underestimate kids. Kids can be as powerful as adults. Kids can take over the role as managers. Well, technically, and this counts for adults with the heart of a kid too. And yeah, as Nickelodeon has confirmed last year that SpongeBob is on the autism spectrum. His autism was showcased the most in this film, and they depicted autism really well. And I know that SpongeBob having autism has stirred a bit of online controversy because so they were like thinking, oh, you're only saying SpongeBob is autistic because he's silly, but he that's because he's silly doesn't mean he has autism. No, fun fact, guys. I actually knew that saw that SpongeBob had autism before Nickelodeon confirmed that they made SpongeBob on the spectrum. He's not autistic because he's silly. There's more to his character than just being silly. And I think what one personality trait that makes SpongeBob autistic is how his mind is fixated for certain things. Like I'm sure we know what we best know about SpongeBob is that well he loves fry cooking, he loves his nail, he loves karate, he loves hanging out with friends, he loves all this stuff. But his mind is so fixated on those things, and that's actually what makes an autistic person autistic when they're addicted to something, and then they have they would be. I'm sure you guys know this one, so I don't want to lecture you on that. But I just hope you guys can understand on what I'm on where I'm getting with this. The story may sound like you'd hear in an episode of SpongeBob, but the high stakes and high quality animation makes this worthy of an 85-minute film in terms of execution. And yeah, the animation is really good. They really upgraded the animation from the show. From the show, although it is how do I say this? I will say that I do think SpongeBob Water has slightly better animation than this. Well, of course, because well, it's updated. It's 2015 when SpongeBob Water came out, but this animation is significantly way better than the animation in Sponge on the Run, the Plankton movie, and Saving Bikini Bottom for damn sure. Yeah, there are a lot of dark moments in this as well, and yeah, Nickelodeon, yeah, they were not afraid to go there. Yeah. There were this film had really dark characters like the bar owner who was against kids who hates kids. Dennis, the hunter who Plankton hired to stop SpongeBob and Patrick from rescuing the crown, and the Shell City owner, the one with like a fishbowl head guy. Yeah, and yeah, the Shell City scene is the best scene in the film. She's seen in the film. Yes, seeing how SpongeBob and Patrick nearly died. Near Yeah, they nearly killed off SpongeBob and Patrick. It actually seemed very believable because SpongeBob and Patrick were trapped and trapped in dry land with a lamp shining on them. So they're like wondering how are they gonna get out of this situation and and it seems that the audience can figure out for themselves themselves. Like that's actually how they raised the stakes and took risks into making the audiences believe that SpongeBob and Patrick were actually going to die. But it was because of their tears. Their tears like dropped at the wire, and then the wire exploded, and then the smoke came up, and then it caused the sprinkler to rain on them, and yeah, that was insane. And I didn't nearly cry that scene. I didn't cry, but I almost cried. And yeah. Oh, and also I should have mentioned as well that the story actually is kind of similar to Lord of the Rings if you think about it. Yeah. Two best friends are going on a dangerous adventure to the, dangerous adventure to return an item. Yeah, but I made sure it's nothing like Lord of the Rings in a way, but also in a way that's at the same time, just the adventure itself, you can easily call this the animated Lord of the Rings, and that's what makes the story so special. Despite her limited screen time, Mindy is the best character of the whole film. She's arguably the most kind-hearted person in all of she's the most kind-hearted person in all of Bikini Bottom, with the way she motivated SpongeBob and Patrick to stand up and have courage, as well as defend Mr. Krabs from King Neptune. And you know what? I think that at times, Mindy might be my SpongeBob crush. Honestly, yes, guys, I'm saying it right now. I don't care what anyone else says. Mindy is my SpongeBob crush. Well, at least she's kind of a human in a way. She's like a mermaid, and she's not a creature, so I have a crush on her. Yeah, I can see why SpongeBob has a crush on Mindy. The fact that Mindy was never brought onto the show, what a poor shame. I wish that we probably could have explored more on Patrick and Mindy dating and Mindy like being on the show more, but it's kind of a shame. But I still love Mindy. Mindy is my special crush, and Scarlett Johansson gives not only the best voice act performance of the voice cast, but but this is her best voice performance. Yes, yeah. This is one of Scarlett Johansson's best roles in general. Maybe top five, guys. Maybe top five, but I think that there are better Scarlett Johansson. There are better Scarlett Johansson roles that she has, like potentially Jurassic World, Rebirth. That could be one of them, and also Marriage Story, which I still stand by saying that Scarlett Johansson should have won Best Actress in Marriage Story at the Oscars 2020, and also Jojo Rabbit, especially Black Widow in the MCU. But also, I would also say Chef as well. Yeah, the John Favreau, my favorite John Favreau movie, Chef. But but when it comes to Scarlett Johansson's animated voice roles, Mindy is her best one. Way better than Ash from the same movies. Oh, and yeah, SpongeBob's motivation is one. I think SpongeBob's character development is I at his strongest here. Yeah, and people can relate to SpongeBob. I don't necessarily fully relate to SpongeBob, but I'm sure a lot of people would relate to SpongeBob in this film. In this film. Oh, but another one of these standouts in the film is Plankton. Oh my goodness, he is an absolute menace here. He tends to be a sympathetic character a lot of times in the show. Well, not in the classical era, kind of. But here in this movie, he is at his most hateable character. He is at his most hateable yet in this film when it comes to his character. Yeah, his plan is just so evil. Yeah, and the fact that Plankton almost won and nobody else found out until that Plankton was behind all this until the middle of the movie. Oh my goodness! And yet, even if Squidward found out that Plankton was responsible for stealing Neptune's crown and framing crabs, Plankton still got away with it by attacking Squidward, and he even put the entire Bikini Bottom into slavery, with using the chomp bucket to control everyone's minds. Like, damn, that is insane. He is so unlikable that it makes you want to freaking step on him. And after rewatching this movie, I just want to freaking step on this bug. Yeah. So yeah. Oh, and also the songs are another highlight here. This is some of the best songs in the SpongeBob movie, in the SpongeBob franchise. Although Fun would still be my favorite SpongeBob song, but this song has amazing. This movie has amazing songs too, like Now We're Man, Now We're Man, and especially I'm a goofy goober, yeah. You're a goofy goober, yeah. Oh, and the goofy goober rock scene at the end is probably my second favorite scene in the film. My personal second favorite, behind the Shell City scene. Oh, and the David Hasselhoff cameo was spot on as well. Great cameo from him. So overall, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie is a love letter to fans of the show and is without question the best SpongeBob movie ever, no competition. It's a shame the others don't even come close to this one, even if the second one is pretty good. Now, I still stand by where I still stand by where I placed this in my top 10 best movies 2004 list. It is a little lower on the list, but at least I still praise it. And this would be my third favorite animated film of 2004 behind The Incredibles and Shrek 2, as well as my third favorite Nickelodeon movie behind Tintin and Rango. So that's it, guys. I'm going to give the SpongeBob SquarePants movie 5 stars out of 5. Flawless movie. So also for my review of the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, what are your thoughts on the movie? Would you agree with me that this movie is an absolute classic and the best SpongeBob movie ever? Or do you think that this movie is slightly overrated? Oh, and by the way, one more thing. How the fuck does this only have a 68% on Rotten Tomatoes? It deserves at least a 6% or higher rating. So yeah, comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for my review on the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water. Bye, guys.